Today, I want to talk about SQL joins, specifically like the inner join and the left join and the right join, and also the full join. To illustrate that, I basically set up two small tables with very few entries. So we have an employee table with a person ID, employee name, and there is a city ID, and which is essentially going to be something you would have in a city table. In the city table is city ID, true city name. So one thing you would notice is all the employees are in city ID 1234, but the ID 4 is actually missing from the city table. So it's going to be essentially not known or null. So if I just run this, you saw the results here. So we have two tables, employee table, and I've inserted a few entries and then city ID table. That's what we have for the setup. And you can see select everything from employee table and all that. So let me first illustrate what happens in what is called an inner join or a join. And I'm just going to copy this pre-listed SQL statement here. So basically how you do it, you can say select employee name and city name. So you can see city name is coming from some other table, basically the city table, but SQL will accept that. The syntax is essentially from employee table. So this is information from employee table and you want to join it with somebody. So inner join is same as join. So just remember that. So I wrote inner join just to clarify, but you can also just call join and you give it the other table, which table you want to join. So right now we are joining employee table with city table and on, and then which is the information which you want to join on, which is basically employee table dot city ID is equal to city table dot city ID. So if I run those results, you would see in a second as to what the results are. So you would see the join happened and we got employee name and city name, and you can see all of these things, but there are only three entries. It will only perform that are common between those twos. So you would see that the city ID, for example, Keith was lived in a city ID of 4, but Keith is not listed here because it doesn't not match to the city table. So it's basically an intersection of the two tables, and that's what you're getting. So you can see we are getting three entries already: Yogi, Walter, and Tim. And Keith is not there. Was basically, for example, the first one city ID was 1, which is Austin, and you can see it matched fine. So that's what is called inner join or join. So I will now illustrate something called a left join. Left join basically means that all of the entries from the left table will always be presented in the output, even if they don't match anything in the second table. So if I do this, I got, so the syntax is very similar. Essentially, you say select employee name, city name from employee table, left join. So this was the difference, left join. Instead of inner join, this is left join, and you're joining with city table. It basically means all of the entries in the output from the employee table will be shown, and then we're matching on the same thing. So if I run those results, you would notice now what we get is Keith is showing up in the output even though it has no city ID associated with it. So that is called the left join. So right join is also very similar. Instead of left, it's going to be right. So you can just change it to right join. And basically what it means is all of the output from the right table will always be shown. So if I run this query now, you would see that the city name Lakeway is showing up here, even though it does not match with any employee in our entry. And the reason is Lakeway has a city ID of 5 and 5 is not matching anywhere. So that is the reason for those two joins. So now we can come to what is called as an full join. Full join means basically entries from the left and the right table, they will all be shown. So MySQL doesn't really have a statement called full join. Some other SQL versions do have it, and since I'm using MySQL, but you can simulate the result by using what is called a union statement. Basically, the output of this first thing is add, and the output of the second statement, it will be added together, and that will become essentially a full join. So which is essentially a union of a left join and a right join. And essentially it means that all of the entries from the left table and the right table will be in the output. So instead of being able to say full join, since MySQL doesn't have it, you can simulate with a left join, and then you have a right join, and you should know that the shape of the output that is coming from the left join and the right join is basically the same, because it's the employee name and the city name, and you can do a union of that. So this will simulate what is called a full join in MySQL. So if I run the result output, you should see the entries from both tables. So here you can see you have all the entries, and Keith is also showing up because it was in the left table, even though it doesn't match any city, and Lakeway doesn't match anything in the null. So thank you for taking the time out to watch this video on SQL joins. If you are wondering about self joins, I have created a separate video for that. So thank you, and you have a great day.